The romance multi-level marketing scam, the Tinder Swindler. Scams have been around for 100 years, ranging from simple to absurd ones, and honestly, these confident acts and tricks were fascinating to see but just really terrible to be part of. There are real-life movies that demonstrate these acts in the real world, just like The Wolf of Wall Street and Catch Me If You Can, and they have one thing in common: it's all about deceptions, and they all go to prison. Along with the advancement of technology, scammers are getting smarter and taking advantage of the new technologies to find their next victims. That is why we are often told to be careful who we trust online, and there is no better example than the Netflix documentary The Tinder Swindler. Simon Leviev in the Tinder Swindler British true crime documentary is the man who created a romance multi-level marketing scam on Tinder, where he swindled money from his victims and then spent the money on his next victim, literally a Ponzi scheme. Online love scams have been around for many years, but this is the first time I heard something as hilarious as this one. How does he make his victim fall into his trap? According to Robert Cialdini in his book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion in 1984, scammers or con artists use 6 core principles of persuasion to get what they want, and these principles align with how Simon Leviev carried out his scheme. These principles are the following. Number 1, reciprocity. Humans value equality to some extent. This means that we don't like to feel that we owe other people. Generally speaking, when people have these social obligations, they try to settle them. Simon Leviev starts his scheme with his first core principle, showing his victims his generosity and seducing them to travel with private jets, luxury dinners, and lavishing expensive gifts. Little did they know it's all part of the plan. It's a transaction, not a kind gesture. Number 2, consensus, social proof. Simon Leviev presents himself as the son of Russian-Israeli diamond mogul Lev Leviev in order to trick women into believing that he is wealthy. With the rise of the internet, it's easy to think that it's simpler to confirm a person's identity with a quick Google search. The reality is it's also easy as pie to fake your identity online. First of all, the internet is a public place. It's not ethical or legal, but anyone can create a fake profile online. Let's get creative. If you were to create a fake identity of yourself online, what identity would you create about? Please write your answer in the comments section below. Number 3, liking. As cliche as it sounds, people are much more likely to be influenced and pursued by those that they like than those that they don't. Simon Leviev's targets are those on Tinder. Generally, these girls are looking to date and build a family. Given the situation, girls on Tinder are more likely to like people who pay them compliments, gifts, love, and a promising future. Not to mention a movie-like lifestyle. Number 4, commitment and consistency. We want to be reliable, someone who is seen as trustworthy and can be counted on. When Simon Leviev gets closer to his victim, he will start by asking for small favors. When you agree to a small request, you will make it easier for a person to make an incremental request. That is because we like to be consistent. When we make a decision, we rationalized and justified our actions to be in line with our initial decisions until it reaches the point of no return. From a persuasion and influence perspective, this means that if I can convince you to let me borrow 100 pesos, then you'll think of yourself as that type of person and be more likely to act in that way again in the future. You'll also be more likely to increase the amount if I suggest that you do so. Number 5, scarcity. After he gets his victim's commitment, liking, and trust, the next recipe is scarcity. The less of something there is, the more people want it. The same is true in the dating world. It's not every day that you will meet someone who is good looking at the same time rich, on top of that a son of a diamond billionaire. Simon Leviev created an image of a busy businessman that is always full of meetings and business trips, leaving her victims with a very small time, when in reality he used those times for fishing his next victim. He literally created a sense of scarcity out of his own availability that leaves his victims wanting him more. Number 6, authority. Lastly, authority. This core principle of persuasion is the final recipe of Simon Leviev's scheme. The reason he was able to swindle money out of his victim was because of the fake authority that he built within their relationship. Part of the reason for this is that authority and credibility are some of the building blocks of trust. His victims believe that he is a diamond billionaire's son, a friend, and a lover, and use that belief against them to borrow and suck all their money, leaving them with monumental debt. The tragedy. Despite all the tragedies his victims fall into, I have read so many criticisms online, calling them gold diggers, fools, and many more words that you don't want to hear. On the other hand, by lending a huge amount of money to a rich person you just meet online, others may view it as a form of investment because they believe that they could get the money back and form a lasting relationship with a wealthy individual. As a stock trader and investor, I would not want to take out a loan for an investment, as it multiplies the risk, and these ladies did. They are victims and just wanted to help out of kindness, so let's stop the victim blaming. Did Simon Leviev go to prison? For people who are watching a crime documentary, a happy ending is when the villain gets the punishment that they deserved. And yes, Simon Leviev goes to prison. According to a reliable source, He was arrested and imprisoned by authorities in Finland. In that prison, he spent 2 years until he was transferred to his native country Israel, where he was prosecuted for other frauds he had committed in his 20s. Where is Simon Leviev now? Simon Leviev, now 31 years old, is now a free man in Israel and is currently dating Israeli model Kate Conlon, according to Instagram stories shown in the Tinder Swindler, and pursuing a career in Hollywood. Simon Leviev wants to use Tinder Swindler fame to break into Hollywood. According to the celebrity gossip site, TMZ, he already has a Hollywood manager, Gina Rodriguez. He claims that the Netflix documentary, Tinder Swindler, showed a false representation of him and he wants to clear his name. That is not all. He hopes to write a book and host a dating podcast in which he offers dating do's and don'ts. Everyone deserves a second chance. Maybe this time he will protect women from scams. Thanks for reading this article. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or violent reactions, and make sure to follow me here in Medium. Smile https://medium.com/@algerites.